Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto News TV. In this quick video we're going to be talking about a sealed indictment that I believe might have been unsealed as of recently. It was filed on November 20th, 2018, and this is coming out of the United States District Court for the Northern District of Texas, Dallas Division. And we all know what they say about Texas, and if you don't, well, that is, you don't F with Texas. And now this is the United States of America versus Jared Rice, and it says here a sealed indictment, but like I said before, I think it might have been unsealed, as we can kind of see this sealed thing here. Either it didn't get copied right, or supposed to be kind of like redacted or removed, so that's, I guess, their way of removing the sealed. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe one of you guys could let us know in the comments, but let's go ahead and actually dive into this document that was filed and learn a little bit of why these charges or indictments are actually coming about, plus seeing the involvement of undercover FBI agents as well in the process of private investors to this, and how this all kind of came together against Jared Rice. Now, I don't know anything about Arise Bank. This is the first to my recollection of hearing or finding out about Arise Bank or Arisecoin. I know, thankfully, but still, needless to say, I want to learn a little bit about this and how to potentially avoid something like this in the near future, and not even investing in something like Arisecoin or Arise Bank, for example, just because it looks great and is being promoted, doesn't necessarily meet all of your criteria as far as a secure, safe investment that could potentially return. Now, this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I like to find things on the internet that I find interesting, and I share them with you guys, our community. So if you're new and this is the first time you've stumbled across a Crypto News TV video, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and smash that like button or leave a comment in the section below. Hit the dislike button if you're not a big fan of what I'm sharing. So I'm going to get into it right now and go right into this sealed indictment. Like I said, I think it's been unsealed, but still, if it is sealed, well, it's now unsealed, and they might have unsealed this to kind of build the defamation of character against Jared Rice when proceeding with their court hearings, or if they have a jury involved, because there's going to be other people creating videos regarding Jared Rice, Arisecoin, Arise Bank, not just myself, at the same time building awareness to this case and what is actually going on, because as you guys will find out soon enough, he didn't raise as much as was claimed, and was even investing into his own ICO via employees or other people that worked with him, and we'll see exactly how that unfolds as we continue. So let's go ahead and look at this right now. The grand jury charges are as follows, and it starts off with the introduction. So at all times, material to the indictment, unless otherwise indicated. Number one, the defendant, Jared Rice Sr., was the CEO or Chief Executive Officer and founder of Arise Bank. Number two, Arise Bank was an unincorporated entity founded in January 2017, operated by and in the custody and control of Rice, that perpetrated, maintained, and a place of business in Dallas, Texas. Arise Bank promoted itself as the first decentralized banking platform, offering numerous services to consumers for digital and fiat currency. So let's take a look here at the scheme to defraud. So number three, beginning no later than June 2017, the exact date being unknown to the grand jury, and continuing until on or about January 29th, 2018. In the Dallas Division of Northern District of Texas and elsewhere, the defendant, Rice, willfully and, I'm sure, willfully and knowingly, and obtained money and property by means of untrue statements of material and facts, and omissions of material facts necessary to make the statements made in light of the circumstances under which they are made, not misleading in connection with the sale of securities, namely Arisecoin. So I'm not sure if you guys understood that. Me personally, after reading that out loud for number 3, the scheme to defraud, I think there's some misinterpretation, or I don't know if they said this properly, because it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, because it's kind of contradicting itself. But maybe it's talking about what he himself was talking about his company and saying that it wasn't misleading, though it is misleading. A lot of ands here, but still, needless to say, let's continue on to number 4. But if you guys can kind of decipher this section here, the section 3 for me, that would be greatly appreciated, because I really don't fully understand what they mean. And maybe this isn't right as page 2, maybe that there is a page still missing, or that might be sealed, I'm not sure, but it does continue on here with number 4. So unless there's a whole page dedicated to number 3 and continuing on here to another page, it's quite interesting how that worked there. So anyways, needless to say, number 4, the object of Rice's scheme was to cause investors to transmit digital and fiat currencies to websites and accounts that Rice controlled under the guide of purchasing Arise Bank's proprietary digital currency, Arisecoin, a security through an initial coin offering, ICO. Number 5, through the scheme and artifice to defraud, Rice raised in digital and fiat currency in the US dollar equivalent of approximately $4,250,000 from hundreds of investors. Now let's take a look here at the manner and means for number 6. Beginning no later than June 2017, Rice began to promote Arise Bank to the public. Rice also began to promote Arisecoin, a new cryptocurrency to be sold by Arise Bank through an ICO in 2017. Rice promoted Arise Bank and Arisecoin to investors via press releases, public video interviews, social media outlets such as Facebook and Twitter, and on the publicly available websites arisebank.com and arisecoin.com. So, I mean, this guy really made an effort to seem as if it wasn't a scam or it wasn't a scheme to defraud people. I mean, it says here, he did press releases, putting his name out there, his face out there, in public video interviews even, maintaining social media accounts on Facebook and Twitter. It seems as if everything front-facing was a legit turnkey company that people were, I would imagine, investing in and purchasing Arisecoin. So let's continue to see how this sort of unfolded for Arise and Rice himself. So number 7, Rice controlled the arisebank.com and arisecoin.com websites. The Arise Bank website contained 2 white papers, one known as a developer white paper and a second known as the elevator white paper. Rice authored both white papers. Number 8, by use of the internet, a means and instrumentally of interstate commerce and the mails. Rice made numerous misrepresentations of material facts and omitted numerous facts to investors and potential investors to obtain money and property from them during the Arisecoin ICO. So remember, it is very important not to believe everything you hear, because it may not be true. Number 9, in the offer and sale of Arisecoin and in obtaining money and property from investors and others, defendant Rice made and caused to be made to investors numerous materially false and fraudulent representations of fact, including the following. So this is what he claimed that Arise was doing or had done or had in the works. So A, that Arise Bank offered the Arise card, an Arise Bank issued Visa branded card to consumers, when in fact, as Rice then knew, Arise Bank had no partnership or contract with Visa at all. That Arise Bank utilized Marquette's world-renowned Visa API, allowing Arise Bank to do things that most crypto wallets are unable to do. Then, or when, in fact, as Rice then knew, Arise Bank had no partnership or contract with Marquette at all. And C, that Arise Bank, Arisecoin, Arise Card, Arise Pay, AOS, AEX, AI Exchanger, A-Transfer, A-Charts, Arise ID, CoinSecure, CoinPin, ThumbCoin, CoinFace, Rise, and Rise Network. Names or terms are trademark intellectual property registered to Arise Bank Ltd. in multiple countries, including the United States of America, when in fact, as a Rice, or Rise, saying his name like it's the company, Mr. Rice, then knew none of these names were trademarks registered to Arise Bank Ltd., even in the United States. So there were no trademarks for not even one of these names in the US. Good one, Rice. D, that Arise Bank was a bank that offered users trading or traditional banking services, debit cards and credit cards, in addition to cryptocurrency services, when in fact, as Rice then knew, Arise Bank was not a bank and had not been authorized by the Texas Department of Banking to conduct business in the state of Texas. Another good one, Rice. E, that Arise Bank had completed acquisition of 2 traditional US-based banks, held 100% of the equity in each bank, and could now offer its customers FDIC-insured accounts, when in fact, as Rice then knew, Arise Bank had not acquired any banks at all and could not offer its customers FDIC-insured accounts. Wow. F, that by December 26, 2017, the Arisecoin ICO had raised $300 million, when in fact, as then, A and Rice knew, the Arisecoin ICO had not. That by January 18, 2018, the Arisecoin ICO had raised a whopping $600 million within the course of a few weeks and was quickly approaching being the first ICO to raise $1 billion, when in fact, as Rice then knew, the Arisecoin ICO had not. So, number 10. In the offer and sale of Arisecoin and in obtaining money and property from investors and others, defendant Rice omitted to state and caused others to omit to state to investors material facts necessary in order to make the statements made in light of the circumstances under which they were made not misleading, including the following. So I don't know if they put in this misleading thing to kind of be like sarcastic or whatnot, but you know, they definitely are misleading. So A, that Rice has pleaded guilty to the state felony crimes of tampering with government records for forging Texas security of state and corporation documents and theft of property valued more than or equal to $1,500 and less than $20,000 for stealing funds provided by an investor in a prior internet-related business scheme and is currently on probation for these offenses. That in and itself is crazy. So this is pretty much saying that he had committed another crime, and for internet-related business scheme or scam, that he had scammed somebody else, you know, for less than $20,000, but either equal to or more than $1,500 in the past in Texas, and was actually on probation for these offenses. And now he's committed this crime. That's just too much. So B, that Rice regularly transferred investors' Ethereum to non-Arise Bank Coinbase account with user ID ending in characters ADAF, that Rice exchanged the Ethereum into US dollars and transferred those funds to a non-Arise Bank account ending in 8935, that Rice controlled at Bank of America. And C, that Rice converted investor funds to his own use and benefit of others, including his girlfriend, spending investor funds on his family, law attorney, guardian ad item, and for daily living expenses such as hotels, food, clothing, and Uber rides through the use of a debit card and cash withdrawals for himself and others, among other expenditures. Number 11. According to the developer white paper, the Arisecoin ICO had 3 stages: a private sale scheduled to occur between on or about November 6, 2017 through on or about November 12, 2017, a pre-sale from on or about November 13, 2017 through on or about December 13, 2017, and a public ICO sale from on or about December 14, 2017 through on or about January 14, 2018, which was later extended to approximately January 27, 2018. Now, moving on here to number 12. During the ICO, the Arise Bank and Arisecoin websites offered Arisecoin for sale to the general public throughout the United States, including within the Dallas division of Northern District of Texas. To invest in the Arisecoin ICO, an individual only needed to register on the Arise Bank website by providing an email address. There were no other investor requirements or restrictions. 13. During the ICO, investors could purchase Arisecoin using digital currency including Bitcoin, BTC, Ethereum, ETH, and Litecoin, LTC, among others. Investors could also purchase Arisecoin using fiat currency, including PayPal. Number 14. After making the purchase, the investor typically receives one or more communications from Arise Bank via email. 15. As a result of Rice's scheme to defraud, devise, and contrive to defraud and obtain money and property, numerous individuals purchased Arisecoin during the ICO via arisebank.com and arisecoin.com websites, including investors whose initials are D.W, N.J, and E.T. And this is where our FBI employee, acting as an undercover capacity, all of whom made their purchases from within the United States. So now let's continue on here to the counts. So there's a total of 6 counts. We're going to look at counts 1 through 3 right now for securities fraud, and then we'll look at counts 4 through 6 for wire fraud, I believe. Yeah, so let's go ahead and let's go back here to counts 1 through 3 for securities fraud. Number 16. On or about each date for each of the following or below identified counts, defendant Jared Rice Sr. in the Dallas division of Northern Texas and elsewhere willfully and knowingly by use of mails and instruments of interstate commerce employed one or more manipulative and deceptive devices and contrivances contrary to Rule 10b-5 of the Rules and Regulations of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, 17 CFR 240.10b-5, in connection with the sales of securities, namely the sale of Arisecoin to investors directly and indirectly. So, employed devices, schemes, and artifices to defraud, made untrue statements of material facts and omitted to state material facts necessary to make the statements made, in light of the circumstances under which they were made, not misleading, and engaged in acts, practices, and courses of business that operated and would operate as a fraud and deceit upon a person, all as alleged in paragraphs 1 through 15 of this indictment, which are incorporated hereby reference. Now this is count 1. On December 17, 2017, D.W. purchased Arisecoin via the internet with 0.506 Ethereum, and this was an investor within the United States. Count number 2, January 20th, 2018, E.T. purchased Arisecoin via the internet with 3.4 Litecoin, and this guy was also within the United States. And then on January 24th, 2018, there was an FBI undercover employee. So this appears to be somebody working for Arisecoin or Arisecoin that was employed by Arisecoin or Arise Bank, and he was an FBI undercover, and he purchased Arisecoin via the internet in the United States with 0.06663659 BTC or Bitcoin. And so this was in violation of 15 USC 78JB and 78FF and 17 CFR 240.10B-5. So now looking at the counts 4 through 6 for wire fraud, and this is violation of 18 USC 1343. So number 17, the grand jury alleges or realleges and incorporates by reference all the allegations set forth in paragraphs 1 through 15 of this indictment. So number 18, on or about each date for each of the below identified counts, defendant Jarrett Rice Sr. in the Dallas Division of Northern District of Texas and elsewhere for the purpose of executing the scheme and artifice to defraud and obtain money and property by means of false and fraudulent pretenses, representations, and promises, did knowingly and with the intent to defraud, cause to be transmitted by means of wire and radio communication in interstate commerce certain writing, signs, signals, pictures, and sounds, namely each of the following. And now we have an additional 3 counts here where December 24th, 2017, N.J. purchased Arisecoin via the internet with 0.9160639 BTC. And this was done via the United States. And on January 17, 2018, Jared Rice Sr. sent an email via the internet to public relations firm EFF, approving Arise Bank's January 18th, 2018 press release. Then on January 24th, 2018, FBI undercover employee purchased Arisecoin via the internet with 2.04997551 Litecoin. And which is interesting is I'm not entirely sure if maybe Jared Rice was recommending his employees to purchase Arisecoin during this ICO to actually pump it up and see if other people would see that others are investing so that way they would invest. I'm not sure if he was actually recommending his employees. I wonder exactly how this FBI undercover employee really ties into this whole, indictment when they already have investors where it sees here the initials that are investing with the United States. I'm not entirely sure. It would be really nice to really find all of those answers out and how the FBI is working to kind of bring these schemes or scams to justice in a way. I wish they would do this with more projects. However, I am curious exactly how they did it, because it is good to see that somebody is actually trying to, help these people that are getting involved with cryptocurrency, because it's inevitable. It is going to happen. So not to get off track here, not to go on to another video, let's continue on here. So in violation of 18 USC 1343. And now let's continue on here to page 11 of 13. And this is the forfeiture notice. So, upon conviction of any of the offenses alleged in counts 1 through 6 of this indictment and pursuant to 18 U.S.C. 981A1C, in conjunction with 18 U.S.C. 2461C, the defendant, Jared Rice Sr., shall forfeit to the United States all property, real or personal, constituting or derived from proceeds traceable to the respective offense, pursuant to 21 U.S.C. 853P, as incorporated by 18 U.S.C. 982B, if any of the above referenced property subject to forfeiture as a result of any act or omission of the defendant cannot be located upon the exercise of due diligence, has been transferred or sold to or deposited with a third person, has been placed beyond the jurisdiction of the court, has been substantially diminished in value, or has been commingled with other property and cannot be subdivided without difficulty, it is the intent of the United States to seek forfeiture of any property of the defendant up to the value of above described property subject to forfeiture, which is, of course, the $4,250,000. Now, whether or not I think this guy has the money, he might not, but if previously he did a scheme or a scam for, you know, say $20,000, and chances are this guy probably has no money or no real property to kind of afford this $4.25 million fee that he's taken from individuals. And you know, I think it's going to be very difficult if they cannot recover the cryptocurrency for these investors. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen. I wish the best for those involved, but they're definitely going to have to come up with the money for these people, because that is very unfortunate, where hundreds of people have, you know, lost, and they're still trying to figure out where this property is or how to acquire it. It doesn't seem as if they have seized this property as of yet, which is not good, unfortunately. So this is a true bill, and we see the foreperson here as a signature. We have Mary Walters, which is Assistant United States Attorney, Texas State Bar, and their address there and telephone number. We see the United States Attorney. Now also the Assistant State's Attorney, their bar number, and the contact information. So this is pretty much the end of the, you know, indictment for Jared Rice and what's happening with Arisecoin and Arise Bank. For those that, you know, lost money or were involved in it, you know, this is good news. This is great news that you have potential to recover those unfortunately lost funds. You know, that $4.25 million that was raised by Jared Rice. Even though he said it was $1 billion that they rose, they actually didn't raise that much. They only raised 4.25 out of, you know, $1 billion. That's, you know, they were kind of way off. You know, they got not even 4%, you know, unfortunately, of $1 billion. But needless to say that the people that did invest, it looks like you may have some, you know, recourse for your investments as this case kind of develops. I'm sure there will be a submission for those that were involved. Obviously, they have everyone's, you know, receive and send addresses from the blockchain for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. I'm sure too there's going to be PayPal records. So all of the records are there if you did invest to recover your funds. I would definitely recommend those that were part of Arisecoin or Arise Bank in its ICO or getting its coin to kind of see how it would be to recover your funds. I'm sure there's going to be more information as this all develops. I'm not entirely sure, you know, if they have Jared Rice Sr. in custody or if this is starting the path for that. Now, it will only come out in the next couple days, so be sure to hit that subscribe button if you guys are new again, or you want to be updated regarding what's happening with Jared Rice and this indictment and how users are or potentially investors are going to be recovering their funds in the upcoming months, hopefully. So give this video a like, share it with your friends, and as always, have a great day or evening wherever you are. And thank you to the FBI for doing their part and bringing another scam to justice. Bye-bye.